I doing? Live from inside the glass of delicious Starbucks fracking fluid.
Ew.
It's a Business Pants Friday show here at August 15th Studios featuring analyst Hole Matt Moscardi.
Huzzah.
On today's weekly wrap-up, quiet CEOs, a bank does a thing, and fake giving. Woo!
You know what?
Boy, I sound like a cynical person. Yeah.
I gotta take issue with quiet CEOs. We get more CEO says now than we ever did. They're only quiet about like
wait
stuff
for the context
that matters
of the story. Yeah, right, exactly. Wait for the context of the story. Our show today is being sponsored by FreeFloatAnalytics.com.
I love that. I love them.
The only platform measuring port power, connections, and performance for free.
I love them. Really good work. Have you seen their zine?
Yes.
It's really good. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
It really brings me back. I mean, and you don't have to be old to enjoy it because I know there is kind of like a growing zine movement again for young people. The local radio station here is they're putting out a zine. I mean, it's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing.
They're stealing.
You don't have to be
idea?
800 years old like me. I mean, you can enjoy things even if you're 20 years old. You can still enjoy life. All right, story of the week. Ready? I'm already hungry. I don't know why.
I'm out on this week. Just out.
You're out.
Da, da. Yeah.
Out meaning you don't know what's happening. You don't want to talk about it.
Out meaning everything is painful to think or talk about anymore.
Well, then you'll love the first story. We're wading directly into the cesspool of politics, which we try not to do too often because there are 18 million other versions of this show that do politics way better than us. But the headline is MAGA going Marxist and Maoist.
Wow. Yeah.
Trump's assault on free market capitalism. That's from our friend. That's from our friend Jeffrey Sonnenfeld.
Oh. Wow. Double cheers.
Who has her article in Fortune. This is from Fortune, but doesn't really. The one thing I wish he would do is kind of hold the CEO's feet to the fire a bit more because he seems to be friend with every CEO.
Yeah.
I wish he would push them harder to say something. But anyway, here's some related headlines going on in the Trump world with CEOs. Trump's risky role as the would-be CEO of America. Trump blasts Goldman over tariff forecast, tells David Solomon to focus on being a DJ. Trump administration considering taking a stake in Intel after saying that Intel's CEO should resign. Trump negotiated a little deal with NVIDIA and AMD to get a kickback, 15% kickback for all chips sold to China. Here's one. How CEOs deal with Trump. Praise, FaceTime, remorse, and gifts made of gold all go a long way.
Yep.
Trump is tightening the screws on corporate America, and CEOs are staying mum. Blah 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 blah.
Actually,
that's a lot of blah though.
Praise, FaceTime, remorse, and gifts made of gold is actually how you deal with toddlers, also.
Yeah, that's Tim Cook out of Apple, who deigned it a significant move as a CEO of a publicly traded company to give the president a gift made out of gold. Sure, his shareholders and customers are thrilled with that move.
I'm wondering, actually, is there an investor anywhere who believes in fiduciary duty? Like right now, what is everyone doing?
Doug Cha.
Yeah. Shout out to Doug.
The former Bob Monks.
But
the deceased.
If you are a shareholder of Intel and the Trump administration considers a socialist stake in a publicly traded company, they're just going to buy a socialist. It's socialism. They're nationalizing Intel.
These are things we used to laugh at, like companies in Italy and France for this stuff. Like we used to think it like, it's so European, so socialist.
Forget
so silly.
Europe. This is literally what China does. Aren't we afraid of China? China owns half of the country.
Suppose. We're afraid of them unless we're making money from them. I don't really understand our relationship with China, but we talked about that a lot last week.
And because everyone's so afraid, in order to avoid, I saw some report that Sam Altman was he referred to himself as, because he criticized Trump at some point, he was remorseful because he turned himself into a non-player character, an NPC, which is like when you play a video game, it's one of those characters that walk around that have no point. They're just there to like look like there's a lot of people there.
Right.
Like we're in, capitalism was not predicated. It's supposed to be the efficient allocation of capital to companies that need it in order to generate growth. Now, it's
if you're part of a certain club, yeah. If you're part of the bro
if you're
world.
part of the bro white male club. Now it's you go to the White House.
Yeah.
You have tea and crumpets with
yes, but you're
president.
talking about a White House, but
they
a president
take a
who
stake
lives in a
in
country
your company,
club,
and you cash out while the government owns the companies now. What is
but
this?
you're talking about a guy who literally runs and lives in country clubs. I mean, he's the perfect embodiment of that.
He's only worked like 6 days this year so far, right? Like he spends most of his time at Mar-a-Lago and golfing.
The classic Nepo baby of our times. All right, there's another one that I want to cover too.
I don't like capitalism.
What
I
about
prefer socialism, like with a social safety net.
What about Walmart's version of kind of kissing the ring? Remember Walmart? Trump told Walmart to eat the tariffs a while back, right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Now they're doing something strange. I was trying to wrap my head around whether this is this good or is this a way of eating the tariffs? But they've announced that they're giving employees a 10% discount that now includes most groceries. So, okay, first of all, what I didn't know is that they had given and this is like a lot of employees. It's over 1 million employees, is it not? It's
the 2 million. Yeah, it's a lot.
One of the biggest employers in the world, but especially at least our country, they already had a 10% employee discount, but didn't cover groceries. What kind of assholes are the Walton family?
It's just for underwear.
Couldn't use your discount on groceries.
It was underwear and boogie boards. Yeah.
But anyway, now they've pushed that over to letting it be groceries. But is that a way of eating the tariff? So they're still going to raise the prices on everybody, but they're kind of giving their own workers a little bit of a kickback.
Now let's come back to that, because that's one of my.
You going to talk about that later?
We'll talk about that later. But
anyway, that's the first story. And can I just say that all of this is going on with Trump and the CEOs, the very quiet CEOs. They're either giving gifts or they're giving parts of their company or they're giving part of their profits.
It's not their company. Let's be clear.
That's the thing that makes me insane.
Someone else's company. It makes me insane. Investors, what the fuck are you doing? It's your company.
Anyone who listens to this show regularly knows that there's 2 things I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with getting more women in leadership, and I'm obsessed with this idea that we've let CEOs in America become monarchs.
Yes.
I am overwhelmingly angry at that. But here's something that was hidden in the headlines that probably only we will really discuss this week is this crazy headline. Trump crypto firm announces $1.5 billion digital coin deal. So this is what's happening with the Trump family. A publicly traded tech firm ALT5 Sigma is selling $1.5 billion of shares to fund its purchase of cryptocurrency created by World Liberty Financial, which is controlled by the Trump family. Eric Trump is going to join ALT5's board, and Zach Witkoff, a World Liberty founder and the son of President Trump's Middle East advisor, will serve as chairman of this board. So this, I mean, the crony capitalism here is nutso. I mean, this is like nutso world.
I mean,
so just for this alone, CEOs should be like, wait, what's happening here?
But at least in this case, this is like naked crony capitalism. I don't know.
World.
None of this anymore is.
Remember Hunter Biden we were upset about because he sat on a board somewhere?
Do you remember we were upset about Obama's khakis one time? Like I don't know. This is
let me just say one more thing. One more thing about ALT5 Sigma, this company that is buying all this Trump crypto, is that they have 4 executives, 4 directors. They're all dudes, and that's a segue to my next story. Okay, So they have it's all dudes. This is the new, governance world we live in. It's all dudes. So my second story, are you done talking about Trump and CEOs? Can I move on?
I'm feverishly looking for this board. So I want to know who's on it.
My second story of the week, the BroIPO market is bubbling again.
Ooh, so BroIPOs.
BroIPOs, they're kind of having a comeback, of course, because there's nothing more stock market gambling bro-y world than IPOs, because it's just a bunch of bullshit. So the two headlines I was looking at first, StubHub IPO is back on for September after ticketing company delayed plans on tariff concerns. I looked at the StubHub board and executives. They have 5 executives, 7 directors. They have one woman director, 1 female executive. So I'm just painting a bro-y world. CEO chair Eric Baker controls 90% of voting power because his Class B shares are worth 100 votes each. So again, this is fake capitalism. I don't know what kind of capitalism you call this, but it's not real. You were talking about the allocation of capital, all these good things. To me, it's not real when the shares you own in a company are magically gifted 100 times the voting power as to other shareholder shares. That's not real. That's not real.
We know for a fact, and you can ask John Chivette and Jim McRitchie and Kenneth
Should not
Steiner,
be listed shares.
We know for a fact that once you give them 100x shares, first of all, I've never seen that. Anyway, that's like an absurd number. But 10x shares is normal.
Anything over 1x is not normal.
In this case, you're so insecure. Your penis is so small that you have to take 100x shares. That's fine. But we know for a fact that once you give those shares, they are not get backable. You don't. It's not like the kind of thing where, in 5 years, eventually,
there's no sunset provisions. None. No sunset clauses.
No one cares about sunset clauses. No one has to follow them. They can just change the bylaws if they wanted to anyway. Look at the companies that have dual class shares. How many of them go to single class? What's the number?
I actually have a number for that. Let me get to that. I actually have a number for that. Let me keep going here. It also infuriates me that StubHub basically, StubHub is a successful company basically because of Taylor Swift and Beyonce. So that it's all men running this place also makes me insane for other reasons. But let me move on. There's another big IPO in the news.
Scalpers, professional scalpers.
Bullish stock roars in latest crypto IPO, tripling offering price. I also looked at Bullish, 2 male executives, 6 directors, only 1 woman. This one is controlled by 2 cryptobro founder directors who are suddenly billionaires. Okay, so this is what it made me do. It made me do some data hunting. I looked at 61 IPO-related filings since August 1st. I don't know why I did this. It was a painful exercise. It took me many, many hours. I hated every moment of it. Here's what I discovered, though, because I just wanted to... I wanted to see if there were actually facts behind some of my theories about this bro world. But here's what I found. For these 61 different companies I looked at...
this is just since August 1st.
Just since August 1st.
Right.
Just since August 1st.
This is like the last 15 days.
Of all the executives listed, only 11% were women. 44 of the companies have no women, as executives, and 13 only have one. As far as the board goes, only 12% female directors. Forget about this aspiration for 30% of the board to be women. We're down to 12% in these IPOs. Yeah. 30, half of the companies have no women on the board, and then 24 have only 1. So this means that only 7 of the 61 companies I have even have more than 1 woman. It's crazy. It's the other stuff I found is that, to your point, half of them have more than 1 stock of class. So there's half of them are dual class,
or multi-class.
The average kind of dictator at these companies controls 47% of voting power. I did find one, Matt, that you said 100 shares per vote was crazy. I found one that had 1,000 shares per vote.
What?
But I will say this.
What's the point?
And here's the anomaly in this IPO, in this new IPO world. I actually did find a company called Class Over Holdings, all the women, all the executives were women, all the directors were women. And it made me think, like, what the hell is going on at Classover Holdings? And I looked at it, it's educational technology. So it's like, so it's actually a company that is attempting to do good. It's in the educational space. Mostly everything else I look at is just pointless tech, crypto. It's just all nonsense to make men richer, I guess.
But they didn't do any. There's not a makeup company mixed with education. Like, isn't that all we let women do?
I was just dumbfounded. This might be the first company I've ever seen where all the executives and directors were women.
Were they all the head of human resources? Every single one of them. Is that?
But this is what I found out. So yes, my worst fears are true. Is that if anything, we're going in the wrong direction. It's getting worse. Like and there's no shame about it anymore. No one cares. Remember the whole Goldman Sachs thing? Remember, although I think they've actually turned their back on this statement, but remember they wouldn't even underwrite companies that didn't have some kind of diversity?
They decided not that was primarily supposed to be in Asia. And they had already hit that when they
they've given
announced
up on that
it.
already.
So I think they said that's been achieved. It's a lot like measles. Like achieving diversity on boards is like measles. We set out these goals. We hit some of the lowest lying things. And then we said diversity has been achieved.
And it's been achieved because we've elected a fat, misogynist, racist as president. That's it. We've given up our ideals.
I think we've
just given up.
I think they didn't care about them in the first place.
They didn't care about them in the first place. Anyway, this is what I've learned about the IPO world, and that's my second story of the week. I'm already exhausted.
Wow,
my third story.
Horrible.
My third story of the week is I'm actually sticking with the women in leadership topic because it was just on my mind this week. And here is example numbers 18,000,027 and 18,000,028 why we need more women in leadership. Two stories of the week here. Major companies are reframing, not abandoning DEI. This is according to an article. Here's the interesting thing, at least for our company and some of our listeners, maybe. The report says that while companies have scaled back DEI language and commitments, 79% of S&P 500 companies have disclosed that there is board committee oversight of DEI. That's up from 72%. And then in Russell 3000, this figure jumped to 87%, up from 48%. My point being is that if you're still concerned about things like DEI, diversity, women, people, all this stuff, look at the board members, because the companies are self-reporting that the board is now in control of this. So this is yet another reason to care who sits on your board. Am I wrong?
So no, you're totally right about that.
Am I being too Pollyannish about this? Yeah.
No, you're totally correct about that. I am, again, cynical that the jump is not related to interest in greater diversity. The jump is related to regulatory and legal arbitrage and concern around diversity.
Possibly.
But you're totally right that
if you're concerned about it,
you should be voting on you should be looking at the board members, see what they do about it, and vote them out.
Calling them up, voting them out, whatever it is, especially in cases where we've already. I don't know if we have more than one. The one that we talk about a lot is Dimitri Stockton, who sat on two different boards that got rid of
Harley and Target. Yeah. Can you? I cannot figure out why we won't vote out directors. Directors last year. I don't know. This past proxy season in the United States. 0.2% of directors got less than 50% of the vote. One of the people, that's like a dozen, total. One of the people who got it, Jay Hogue, stayed on the board anyway, right? And that's the second time he's been voted out. Why are investors petrified to vote against the people they represent them?
I don't understand.
You want an outcome at this company. You want it to make more money. You want it to, care about its stakeholders. You've got a long vision of the company. It's not just quarterly. Why wouldn't you vote against, if you just took averages, you should be voting against roughly 50% who are below average. But we get 0.2%.
especially if this is the age of meritocracy, right? If you believe in that horseshit.
It's like Jack Welch is back. Like all these CEOs are now are like loud mouthing their way into returning into the office. John Stankey's writing memos about, sorry, ladies, I know you have elder care and child care problems. Have them somewhere else if you can't deal with them. You know, if you need to be at home to deal with them. Like the bro CEO, the CE bro is back and loud and cutting staff, and they're Jack Welching everything, except investors are not Jack Welching their own boards. They don't fire the bottom 10%.
Even if the company is like underperforming against their peers in TSR, like that would be a fine reason to vote at least one member out. All right. The second story I found that is a great example of why we need more women in leadership is, here's this headline. Godfather of AI says tech companies should imbue AI models with maternal instincts to counter the technology's goal to get more control. This is from Nobel laureate Geoffrey Hinton, who said AI will very quickly develop two sub-goals if they're smart. One is to stay alive, and the other is to get more control. Hinton said that developers should make AI more sympathetic toward people to decrease its desire to overpower them. And he says the best way to do this is to imbue AI with the qualities of traditional femininity. Just as a mother cares for her baby at all costs, AI with these maternal qualities will want to protect or care for human users, not control them. I mean, I can't find this is from the godfather of AI. I can't find a better example of why I yell every week about these man babies who are controlling our AI future with no guardrails, no regulation. They control all the voting power of their companies.
No women.
Exactly. No women. Even when the board try to get rid of them this day, they're buying bunkers in Hawaii. Like, thank you, godfather of AI, Nobel laureate Geoffrey Hinton. You just said it beautifully. I'm not nearly smart enough to say it this way. If you can't trust him, who are you going to trust?
Did you see that there was a report that some researchers created like a social network just on like local computers with AI chatbots, and the AI chatbots formed cliques. And there were a few dominant chatbots, and it was like they literally mirrored
programmed them.
Men. The men who do these things, like they were dunking on each other.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
They weren't making sure that all voices were heard at that board table. Like they weren't like calling on.
What are we doing?
All right. I need to wrap this up. I'm getting exhausted in my horrible stories. My fourth story of the week I'm calling ESG data hell, because now we're in this weird anti-ESG world where it really is ESG. I don't know. The Trump administration is doing two like ESG moves here that are making me crazy. First, Trump's new Bureau of Labor Statistics appointee suggests suspending jobs report entirely until methods of data collection are quote unquote corrected. Okay. So this is the guy. He actually has a name. It's DJ. It's EJ Antoni. This chucklehead is an economist from at all places the Heritage Foundation.
That's not a real economist.
We talk about the Heritage Foundation all the time in this shows. This guy's he's so proud of his alma mater that I look at his bio. All he said was that he has a master's and doctoral degrees in economics. He wouldn't even list that he went to Northern Illinois. Talk about a weird, like, anti-elitist, fake anti-elitist move. Like, I've never seen someone not list their college in their bio. But anyway, and then there were reports, of course, a day after this that he was at the January 6th insurrection, of course. And the White House is already saying, well, he's just an innocent bystander. But I just wanted to finish the story by saying that the Attorney General Pam Bondi has already fired the Department of Justice worker who threw a sandwich at one of the new National Guard members in Washington. Have you seen this story? He threw a.
I saw the story.
So we pardoned the
January
insurrectionists who assaulted cops. But if you throw a sandwich at a guy, you're fired immediately.
Pam Bondi said that's the example of the deep state, right? Like,
the deep state. Yeah, I'm just confused by all of this. But the takeaway here is that we're we're now like doing what we want with data. We're now kind of.
There were two takeaways from that, though.
Yeah,
like,
go for it.
It was first of all, don't buy Subway sandwiches. They're not that good. Like, there's got to be a better.
I have
sandwich
a prediction. I have a prediction about that later in the show.
And second of all, like, what a waste of a sandwich. You just wasted your lunch.
Well, it's a Subway sandwich. I think it's actually a perfect use for a Subway sandwich.
Yeah. And that's not even like the half of the data. Truncation happening in Trump.
Okay, let me get to my other story. This is why I call this ESG Data Hell Week. Energy Secretary says past climate reports will be updated. This is the chucklehead Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright, who said he disagrees with the conclusions in past national climate assessments. So he's going to rewrite a bunch of it. This is the guy who is the CEO of Liberty Energy, North America's second largest hydraulic fracturing company. He said a couple of years ago, there is no climate crisis, and we are not in the midst of an energy transition either. He's also the genius who drank fracking fluid to demonstrate that it was not dangerous. So this guy is a real buffoon. And just so you're to be clear, he has degrees in mechanical engineering and electrical engineering, two disciplines that have absolutely nothing to do with the data in the National Climate Assessment, a document that is 1,834 pages. So this guy has no expertise to declare there is no climate crisis, or his only expertise is working at oil companies, basically.
Look, in my mind, one thing is like, so the BLS data is data, right? Like, that is data that they don't want you to see. Now, for the most part, the market has better data than the government has. Those data, points are collected via survey. Now we have like ADP and payroll agencies that actually have data about hirings and firings that, they sell to like banks and market participants. So the market actually has some better data than the government offers. But the energy secretary, like, editing past reports, mostly the thing to be afraid of is that's a pure dictator move, right? Like, we're going to go back and change history so it complies with what we wanted it to say, like what we would have liked it to say. Also, something that sort of like the liberal side of the aisle likes to do as we're doing sort of revisionist history about the way, like Columbus Day, not a day anymore. It's Indigenous Peoples Day because...
Is that the same thing?
It kind of is, because we're kind of like looking back and saying, we did some really shitty stuff. We should change it. And the people... Yeah,
but I'm just saying in the scope of what we're talking about, is that the same thing?
No, but first of all, there's no data in their reports that anybody... But needs at this point,
choosing who we honor in holidays is almost trivial compared to like rewriting.
Well, I'm saying rewriting a climate report is almost trivial at this point. We know climate change is here. We know it. We're probably all dead. True. Like, the data isn't just American data, and no one's listening to this administration. So this is purely propaganda. It's not data, right? Like,
there's a report this week that Republicans are angry with Canada because of all the wildfire smoke coming, but they're still not going to do anything to address climate change. It's causing the wildfire. They're just angry.
I mean, it's like the reason why I bring up Columbus Day, right? Like, is because like in the South, in this country, they hated taking down statues of the Confederacy, and
they meaning the white people.
Yeah, mostly like ex-white supremacists or current. Yeah, because
I'm pretty sure the non-white people were fine with it.
But like, and they thought of it as revising their history, right? Like, this kind of thing happens all the time. We sort of change and revise history. And right now, a guy who drank fracking fluid is not exactly an authority in the history of climate science.
We don't usually revise reports compiled by hundreds of scientists and researchers.
I'm just saying, no one cares anymore.
That's the cynical point of it. You're right, but that's my final story of the week. ESG data hell.
I mean, I
have four crazy stories for you to pick from.
To me, like the BroIPOs and the socialist takeover. The nationalizing
Maoist takeover
of capitalism, right? Like, is those are fascinating to me, mostly because, like, where the hell are the investors? I know you're afraid of everything.
I think I found the answer. The Wall Street Journal says, "quote Nobody knows."
Like, what are you doing? Like, what?
They're getting. I guess they're getting richer, and they're getting like they're buying another property on maybe Nantucket.
How much richer are you going to get when he takes over your company? Right, right now, it's like you're like, oh, the market's up, so why do I care? You care.
Well, that's the other thing I didn't pick was that you're right. The market is thriving.
The market literally
record highs. Record highs.
Tariffs are going to eat the poor. The bill in this country is going to eat the poor, and the market doesn't care at all because they don't price those things immediately. They only price them during revolution, during massive collapse, right?
I still can't believe it's too late. We're only 6 years away from the Business Roundtable proclaiming the urgent need for looking at stakeholder capitalism as a real thing.
Wasn't it
an urgent need essentially?
Jamie Dimon says, he said at WEF that if we don't deal with income inequality, they're going to be storming the gates with pitchforks.
The Guardian yes, it's a left-leaning Guardian, but the Guardian had a report out saying that. Scientists and researchers are saying that could spell the end of humanity is if we don't take care of our inequality problem. And to your point, Matt, and this is why I always focus on CEOs who are largely men. How much more money do you actually need? How are you not satisfied? Can you not now go to the sink, wash your hands, and now start to look at ways of healing society? I mean, you're set. Fortune 500 CEOs, you're taken care of. I mean, even if you quit tomorrow, you're going to get a massive severance package. I mean, you're okay.
I'm just waiting.
So why don't you now focus on the rest of the world?
Now that we don't have fluoride in the drinking water, I'm waiting for them to put fracking fluid in the drinking water because it's so safe, right?
Delicious.
But this is it's like just a bizarre idiocracy at this point.
Well, because you know what they're relying on. They're relying on people not paying attention.
So it's the Maoist takeover of capitalism.
And I was going to say
the story of the week.
Here's what they're also relying on. A story I didn't even cover is that we tagged is a group related to the Heritage Foundation is basically telling young people, don't worry about going to job, just get a trade. I mean, we're seeing this all the time now. We're basically telling young people
give
can
up.
You not worry about getting educated? No, it's not about it's not about giving up. It's because they know what colleges and universities teach. They teach things like the data and research that exists in these climate reports, right?
They teach things that actually happened in the past, not revised things that happened in the past.
And they give you an ability to critically analyze these reports and not just yell that it's part of a deep state conspiracy and get all angry at something. So this is why we're seeing over and over again these guys telling people don't go to elite universities, don't even go to college anymore. Let's not worry about it.
You know what's crazy about it? When the majority of work in this country was digging for coal, you were too tired, too dirty, too exhausted, too broken to fight back. It took a concerted effort.
Well, maybe people were too tired,
dying, putting their
TikTok
lives on the line, going broke to fight for some modicum of rights that we've utterly forgotten. Now they're literally telling you, why don't you just go back to the coal mines and just do that? Just shut up and do dribble. That. It'll be fine. I hate all of it.
What'd you pick?
Sorry. The Maoist takeover of capitalism. I hate it all.
All right, come on.
Let's
Can we move on?
3 good things. Oh my God.
I know.
I mean, I haven't even gotten to Assholiest.
I know. I tried, but that's all I came up with. Let me go. I'm going to go quickly, and then I'll segue over to you, and I'm going to shut up for a while. I have 2 that you might like. Mark Cuban says, speaking of CEOs saying, they always have to say it this way. I don't know why they can't present this information that didn't come from some fake billionaire sage. Journalists, I can still interpret data and analysis and ideas with it. It doesn't have to be some white dude billionaire.
I can't hear it if
I know you can't
a white
hear
billionaire
it.
didn't
But
say it.
But Mark Cuban is saying something that I agree with, and maybe you'll agree with. Mark Cuban says companies should be taxed more for buying back their own shares. Yay! There's a good idea. Okay. And the second one is Danske Bank cuts fossil fuel exposure. They're removing over 1,700 fossil fuel related companies from its investment universe. Texas must be really angry. I mean, that sounds horrible.
I mean, Danske Bank is definitely not going to open up an Dallas, Texas office anytime soon.
What Texas Republicans hate is when people get involved with free market capitalism.
When they make decisions on their own about what they want to invest in.
They wouldn't like that at all.
Yeah.
Unless it's Trump making those decisions, it's fine. But yeah.
Somebody else can make the decision. It's just it has to be Trump.
I
got two.
Yeah.
One is not really a thing, but I saw it and I smiled vaguely. Elon Musk's America Party is nowhere to be seen 1 month later. That
Actually,
feels good.
I don't like that because I was kind of secretly hoping he could achieve something and do this, and it would siphon off people from the Republican Party, and it would split their vote.
I think it's just a race to more extremism, right? Like, because you'd have extremist Elon over here and extremist Trump
a Nazi
over there,
party,
and then like our choices would be like basically the Republicans from 1983, which would be the Democratic Party, and
George Will and a bow tie,
and two different kinds of Nazis. Like I don't know that I like it.
What else? Yeah.
The other one is Netflix secures broadcasting rights for FIFA Women's World Cup.
I like that.
Yeah, there we go.
That.
There's nothing not to like about that. You can watch the Women's World Cup because
I actually
Netflix.
Still have Netflix, so I would enjoy that.
So thank you, Reed Hastings and Ted Sarandos, and the 7 insiders on your board for making that happen.
Do we vote on Goodliest? I always forget.
We do vote on Goodliest.
Tell me the best. You tell me.
The best is FIFA Women's World Cup. That's got to be the best, right?
All right.
All right. Let's do assholes. I'm going to try to keep it short too.
You only have 3 assholes.
I have 3 assholes. And
I stole all the fire.
Really, what I did was I just did headlines for the most part.
Good.
And the 3 assholes. The first one is takers. They're always kind of an asshole. Someone you're out in the sandbox and just Susie comes over and punches you in the face and takes your truck and then you get in trouble for crying about it, you know?
I was thinking of someone who stole the the money you give during Christmas time in a jar. I don't know, people stealing that.
Yeah, it's like, I grew up Catholic, but you'd go to church and they'd pass around the basket, and there's always one person who takes $1 out of the basket. Is
that true?
Yeah,
is that true? You've seen that?
There's always somebody. All right, here are the takers. Musk says he's suing Apple for not featuring X and Grok in must-have section of App Store.
I didn't really understand that. I don't. Can you can sue a private
if you're
company
Elon
for
Musk.
not
We couldn't if we put out an app and it wasn't in a must-have, we sue Apple and they laugh at us. But Musk does it, and it's and everyone freaks out because he's got so much money that he could just keep the lawsuit going and drain our resources. It's such a waste. It's such a waste of time and energy. Trump has made himself commander-in-chief of the chip industry. We already talked about that. He's taking 15% of AI chip sales now.
Which is is that a bribe? Is that what they call that?
It's called extortion. Trump calls on Goldman to replace Economist over tariff stance.
He basically wants to replace the CEO and their chief economist.
Yeah, he said DJ D-Sol should go back to being a DJ.
And that's our joke.
And the U.S. chief economist should be fired because their view is that tariffs are not good for the U.S. economy. Heaven forbid the chief economist at Goldman Sachs has an opinion. That guy is probably the most conservative person you could attack.
The opinion that basically everyone in the country agrees with, you mean?
Everyone. Everybody. Meanwhile, it also hit the newswire this week. U.S. national debt hit a record $37 trillion. So The Economist doing the work, saying this is not good. U.S. steel plant. This one I felt gross about.
Yeah, we haven't covered the story.
U.S. steel plant where 2 died will continue operating.
Now, is this
CEO said? Is
this the company U.S. Steel, or is this?
This is the company U.S. Steel. Okay. And the David Burritt's the CEO, and he said, "Don't worry. This is literally 2 people just died. Don't worry. We won't close the plant. You all can keep working." That's not what we want necessarily. We
No.
want to not die at our jobs. That's what we want.
Well, this actually reminds me that there's a Boar's Head story this week where they still have like mold and disgusting conditions in their factories, but they're going to reopen them
But
anyway.
there's no FDA anymore, so nobody cares.
That's
so
true.
now I just don't have.
Good point.
Now I
Good
can't
point.
buy Boar's Head.
Yeah.
I can't buy it. And meanwhile, in the last 3 days, and I mean 3 days, like it is the 15th of August right now, in the 13th, 14th, 15th, in just the last 3 days, U.S. insiders at publicly traded companies, and that's directors and executives, sold $463 million worth of stock in just the last 3 days. The biggest in the last 3 days was a guy named Harold Chen, who has 3% influence on the board of AppLovin. AppLovin.
What? Tell me what that is.
The incredible value that we all get as consumers from AppLovin.
What's the societal value of AppLovin? Tell me what they do.
Their primary thing is they use AI to direct ads on apps.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about.
It's the worst thing. I hate it.
We're in a crisis. We're in a crisis.
He sold $182 million of stock by himself. He was actually the CFO of the company until 2023. He's been on the board. He's a overall 477 hitter. He's slightly below average on earnings and above average on TSR. So basically, make stock go up, sell $182 million worth of stock because I was really good at delivering ads on your app to annoy the shit out of millions of customers. Like the firm AppLovin, 46% of its assets are goodwill and intangibles. You can't even touch the assets. It's nothing. It's ephemeral. It's nothing. And the insiders made $500 million in 3 days. That's who's taking your money. That's where it all goes. So number one is takers.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I don't really know how. If you go over to freeflowanalytics.com, one of the other things I do now is I routinely tag. We tag most of the stories that we're talking about today, if not all of them, we tag in our database of news stories. I also tag routinely now every director, executive, every insider who sells a minimum of 1 million shares, $1 million worth of shares.
Sure.
And that's a big daily list.
There's a lot of them.
So I'm now tagging those stories now daily. So
this just for point of reference, AppLovin is a totalitarian company. It's got a founder with dual class shares. So
shouldn't be a public.
Harold Chen didn't even have any power at the company where he made $182 million.
All right, what else? What else you got?
The number two, the companies that pretend to give back. So you got takers.
Oh, that's all of them.
And then the ones now they're pretending to give back. This gets to your.
I hope you get to the Larry Ellison story in the New York Times.
So you've got Walmart. You mentioned Walmart once ordered to eat the tariffs is giving employees a year-round 10% discount to help them eat, which is a great headline, right? And
really, for all of you who, and that's everyone. I mean, everyone in America knows how damn expensive it is now to fill up your grocery cart. I mean, that's not much of a benefit. Let's just say. I mean, I don't even know if you're really even covering the increase of consumer goods in the last 5 years of that 10%. I don't even know if you're touching it.
Well, forget just the increase in consumer goods. The employees themselves have not gotten raises to keep the pace of inflation since 1975. So really, you're giving them 10% off. So my thing of blueberries goes from $4.99 to $4.59, and you're calling that a gift to me?
Yeah. Those blueberries that were $2.19 10 years ago.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's so fake. And it's
let's not forget that speaking of, fake publicly traded companies and dictatorships, this is a company that is controlled by one of the richest families in the world, the Walton family.
And you know that when you buy the blueberries from Walmart at a 10% discount, they still make money on those blueberries, right? So they're incentivizing their own employees where they realize they have 2 million people who will shop there all the time because they get a 10% discount. That's growth to them. That's still sales and money. You remember when Trump announced no tax on tips? It's part of the big,
Yeah, that
bastardized
was his
bill.
fake populist moment in the election campaign. Yeah.
Well, here's the headline from this week. Bad news for restaurant workers. Tipping in America is on the decline.
That does not surprise me. I probably, well, first of all, I don't even go to restaurants anymore. In fact, most of the people I talk to barely go to restaurants anymore. I don't know if that's because I live in a horrible city where the restaurants are too damn expensive, but
I'm the same way. I can't afford it.
I think in general people are not going, and I think that's very real. I think that people are. That would be an area where you would probably cut back. It's not that you are less generous. You're just feeling worried about your own funds.
In fact, the report, which came out of Toast, the app Toast that, when you...
I don't really want to know it. Oh, Toast.
Yeah. You go in, you can pay on Toast now because heaven forbid you talk to a human being and hand them...
And Toast takes a cut
and they take a cut of that, of course.
For doing nothing, yeah.
The tips on average were down not like a little bit, like 19.1%. That's almost 20% down.
Doesn't surprise me, yeah.
It's insane. It's insane.
Of course, around here... when they try to raise the minimum wage, especially for service workers, like in my city, the only people who get angry, of course, are the business owners. They're just outraged that you would raise the minimum wage of the service workers.
I mean, because you could, if you're them, right? You can pay them what is it, $1.50 an hour if you're a tipped employee, and just be like, oh, sorry, tips are down. Well, it's your problem, not mine, right? Sam, how about this headline? Sam Altman says Gen Z are the luckiest kids in history thanks to AI, despite mounting job displacement dread.
Yeah, I don't really get, what is he referring to? What are they lucky about? Because it's a fun tool.
No, they're lucky because they have all of these powerful tools in order to be superhumans. Meanwhile, there's this headline, layoffs 2025. Companies have announced over 800,000 job cuts so far. Here are the three big reasons why. One of the big reasons why, AI.
Do we know?
Tariffs, AI, and Doge.
Do we have that figure from last year? How much is that up a lot, that 800,000? Do we know?
At this point in the year, I don't know. And it's hard to get real numbers on this. I looked through some data on this.
Maybe the economist from the Heritage Foundation can help with that.
And it's all missing because what's a layoff, what's not a layoff. Right. You mentioned the Larry Ellison one, right? Larry Ellison, this is the headline. Larry Ellison wants to do good, do research, and make a profit.
Yeah, good luck with that trio of thoughts. Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's a dual-class dictator at Oracle still, and his biggest individual investments for doing good are in Tesla. It was Theranos before it crashed, and X. He's actually Elon Musk's single biggest backer, as an investor. So he's doing lots of good. More employees are giving workers money to buy their own health insurance. Now you can't even get health insurance. They just say, go buy your own.
Right.
While the government is shutting off health insurance for you.
Okay, you're killing me with this one.
So pretending to give back. And finally, my last one. And then we can get out of this horrible, horrible part of the show. Distractions. So you got takers.
That's an American classic. Yeah.
You got pretending to give back, and you got distractions. These headlines were great this week, though. The distraction headlines were really good. Wendy's says it realized it had too many promotions this summer, confusing customers. What better distraction than too many promotions to go to Wendy's?
I like that one.
That's fabulous. White House will definitely host a UFC fight on July 4th, UFC head says. That UFC head is Dana White, who's also on the Meta board because he's highly qualified to be on the Meta board. The U.S. military is looking to buy Tesla Cybertrucks to use as missile targets.
Yeah, I don't really understand that one.
Well, how do you bail out your friend Elon Musk? You buy all of his flop car and you shoot them with missiles. Yeah. And then it's cool. It's so cool, man.
Sure.
Shoot it with a missile. And then I saw this. You pulled this headline. TikTok claims there's a hack to get bigger portions at Chipotle. Put men's names on your orders. TikTok.
Is there any proof of this now?
Who cares? TikTok.
Yeah.
This is all a distraction from all. Do you hear the other things that we're talking about? when there was a threat to shut down TikTok, people freaked the fuck out. They were all up in arms about how dare you shut down TikTok. This is what you were missing? A hack to get a little bit more Chipotle, like 3 extra beans on your burrito? Because meanwhile, like the US government's taking over industries. They're giving you 10% to buy food because you don't have enough money to buy food. Like, what are you doing? Stop being distracted.
All I'm going to say is this. If Trump has become Mao, you've become Chomsky this episode.
I know.
This is straight out of the Chomsky handbook. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Every single, over the
Distraction
course of 6
is the key.
years,
Distraction is the key.
I've gone from the critic of ESG to a defender of ESG. We lambasted Larry Fink to defended Larry Fink. We made fun of ISS, and then we have to say, well, ISS, you can't tell them not to exist. Like, everything that we have been basically making fun of, we now have to defend because it's insane. So those are your 3 options: takers, pretending to give back, and distractions.
This is a hard one because they're not they're all things that exist routinely. And takers,
I thought this week
to give back
was I was particularly triggered by the headlines this week of people like, we're going to give you the Walmart headline just did me in. Like, we're going to give you a 10% discount so you can afford to eat because of the tariffs, right? Like,
as opposed to just raising.
Give them a fucking
wages.
money.
Yeah,
give them the money. Let them eat wherever they want.
Isn't the Costco wage is up to $30? Didn't we report on that?
Unbelievable. Like, I just can't.
And Costco is doing really well too as a company.
I can't get over it.
I do love the distractions. I mean, I now routinely put all stories about Netflix types. I put them in the drugs category. I mean, it's meant to just keep people stupefied. I'm gonna go with. Oh boy. Is that what Walmart's doing? You think they're pretending to give back? You think that's what they're doing?
Yes.
What?
They have dual class shares. They're quad billionaires. There's no. To give your employees
why are they doing this? I can't actually wrap my head around it.
You know what it's like? It's like when you have some office competition and they give you a coupon book as your prize. Like, you handed them a coupon.
And they claim the coupon book is worth $1,000, but really
it's really like 3 oil changes that you have to pay for.
You know, like $300 off a $10,000 cabinet or something.
Plus there's the irony that the reason why you have to shop at Walmart for groceries is because Walmart displaced all the grocers in half the country. So now you don't have a choice but to go there. So now you're going to get 10% discount on overpriced groceries as it is.
I'm actually gonna vote for takers because I actually think the Walmart move is actually more of a they're kind of pleasing Trump on that move.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they're pretending to give back. I think they're just sort of refusing to. They're basically acknowledge that we're F you, we're gonna raise prices anyway. I'm gonna go with takers, mostly because this is the week of Trump and his extortion of Nvidia.
There's a lot of extortion this week.
All right, come on, let's wrap up and get out of this
headlines,
show.
Winners, predictions. Oh my God!
One thing I'm always amazed about this show is that it's full of us blowharding about everything, and yet we still routinely are able to escape under an hour. I don't know how we do it.
I don't either. It does seem to be some sort of magic.
I have 2 headliniest of the week and I actually had a third that I crossed out because you picked the same one. But these 2, both about recalls, I just thought they were just beautiful, beautiful headlines. Hand soap recalled due to potentially life-threatening bacteria
in soap.
Which is funny. It's funny, right? In that they put it in the soap. I love it. And the other one, don't drink this recalled instant coffee from Dollar General. It might contain something dangerous.
See,
that could be anything. That could be it could be like a piece of glass. It could be a shark. It could be it could be
headline.
It could be Pam Bondi, the new Attorney General. It could be a lot of things.
I mean, congratulations. That's a Fast Company headline. Congratulations to Fast Company, because that is the stupidest, clickbaitiest headline. You didn't say the name of the instant coffee or the something dangerous in the headline. You have to click it to figure that out.
I like the one that I crossed off that you also picked. I like this one the best. Actually.
Yeah. All right. So I've got
Go
two.
ahead.
Number one is Werner recalls more than 100,000 ladders over potential fall hazard.
Imagine that you run Werner and your one thing is just making ladders and isn't that the one thing
It's the
that
only
you should
thing
be
that
protecting?
happens on a ladder. You fall. That's it.
Yeah, well, that with the hand soap are classic. It's like you've screwed up your job, like basically.
I also chuckled at this, and it's not like this is like funny per se, but I just chuckled that this is the headline that they wrote. Public company CEO resigns amid another leadership shakeup.
No, public company CEO resigns amid another leadership shake. You know what?
You usually
I'm
don't
glad
name
you
the
picked this
CEO.
one.
In this case, they didn't even name the company.
I'm glad you picked this one because I actually tried to open this story and there was enough of a firewall that I couldn't even read this because the first paragraph was also loaded with like nouns and no proper nouns, and I still don't know what the hell this story is about. I don't know if it's a joke, like because I'm gonna be reintroducing the ESG Onion next week, and I thought maybe this is a ESG Onion troll, like making fun of me, like. Because this is the kind of headline I would write. It's so stupid and pointless.
The CEO is the CEO of Pet Meds Express.
Okay.
And her name is Sandra something. I can't remember now. It's I looked it up the other day.
And that's not important to include that information.
But I just like that it was so unimportant. They didn't even include the name of the company. Like they were like, forget the name of the CEO, who we already don't care about. But
why?
It's just
why
public
would you not
company
include the name
CEO.
of the? All right. Okay. Let's. Who won the week?
Well, you go first.
Well, for me, it's very obvious. It's the Subway sandwich, the now anti-fascist Subway sandwich. I mean, I haven't had a reason to go to Subway for several decades now, but I think that whenever a horrible president is using like the military to police the streets in your city, the Subway sandwich, what a great protest tool. I think this is beautiful.
If for whatever
and that
reason,
franchise needs help. That franchise needs
when
help.
Trump
so this is good.
sends the National Guard to Hartford, Connecticut for some reason.
You're gonna drive right to Subway.
I'm organizing everyone to go to Subway. We're gonna increase Subway sales exponentially for one day.
Yeah.
We're gonna get 500 sandwiches and just hurl them at the National Guard.
That's my winner.
My winner is Delaware. Because I saw this headline. Elon Musk called on corporations to leave Delaware. Delaware says it's doing just fine.
Well, Elon Musk
apparently like 3 people left Delaware. It does not seem to be a problem. All right, predictions. And we got to get out of here.
I'm sticking with Subway. Subway rebrands with here's a new campaign. We know our sandwiches are gross, so throw them at your least favorite fascist campaign featuring Hitler, Stalin, Trump, and Zuckerberg.
Oh, Zuckerberg made the cut.
So they're gonna have a big target on their walls. They'll have big target like posters with a big target with Zuck's face in it.
And
Trump,
you chuck the sandwich
Hitler.
in there?
Yeah, you get a nice like turkey foot long with disgusting bacon in it, and you just chuck it right at it.
And do they do that in the store? Like that's
Everywhere.
on the wall, and they got like a basket underneath to like.
They can even do it in the New York City subway. They can just like have like targets down there. It could be a Subway in the subway moment.
This is a fabulous prediction. We both predicted rebrands. My prediction: Paramount, now owned by Nepo baby Daniel Ellison. Remember that?
That's right, Larry Ellison. We should talk about Larry Ellison.
His son Daniel bought this one. Goes full trad man and rebrands itself as Man Media because it just bought the rights to UFC for 1.1 or 1 billion a year. The UFC is putting on a fight on the White House lawn. Yellowstone and all the the Yellowstone Western spin-offs, the Kevin Costner show, the Man Babies love that show. South Park, it was just the ultimate like crass man boy comedy, even though it's making fun of Trump right now. It is very like man, right? It's manly. Yeah. I think as part of the rebrand, Man Media, they actually launched a new streaming service called Cable to make men feel like it's 1993 again.
All right.
That's it.
Well, that's something I'm glad that Larry Ellison is doing good. He's just giving billions to his son, so he can own a media company.
Yeah,
Great.
that's his son. That's Hazel Morales. I'm your analyst, Tom Abiscardi. We are Free Float. Next week, we'll be back with more of whatever this is. Look out for the zine. If you're not on freeflowanalytics.com, our sponsor, and you're signed up for free there, it's just an email address. Sign up for free. You get the zine. You get the data. It's all great stuff, so go get that. Otherwise, we'll see you when we see you. Until then, good.